You're listening to FWOT, episode 86 for January 16th, 2015. Islamophobia, homophobia, donkey phobia, and common sense. A phobia. Welcome to FWOT. I'm your host, Rob Steele, and this is the show that gives you all the news you need to know, and probably some you don't, all in about 10 minutes. Let's start off with the Muslim rally for the Prophet of Islam in Garland, Texas. Now, I'm starting there because it's actually an anti-Islamophobe education seminar. Now, some people are protesting this because it's held on school district property. You know what? It doesn't matter. It was a place that was rented out by a guy named John Wilborn, who has been getting a lot of crap, a lot of angry calls, a lot of angry emails from people who are upset that an Islamic conference is taking place on school property, even though it's leased and the school is going to be getting a lot of money from it. No. It's Islamic. Therefore, it's what? Terrorist? No. It's to educate people about Islam. Not a hard concept. I mean, a lot of people are still protesting it anyway. They're saying, go back to the Middle East where you came from, etc., etc. You know what? How exactly is it okay to go to the Middle East and preach about Jesus, but you're not allowed to come here and talk about Islam? And by come here, I mean 4 out of the 5 confirmed speakers are from the U.S. That 5th one? Germany. So, that doesn't really work. It seems to me that there just happens to be this big lapse in the number of people who remember that there's a constitutional amendment saying you have the freedom of religion in this country. Is this the part where I point out that a Google search showed that a KKK meeting was held at the same place? It's not? Okay, sorry. There are a lot of people who say they don't want it because they don't understand the Islam religion. It's weird, and it's strange, and it's different than our Christianity. Well, if you'd bother to try to learn a little bit about it, instead of just blindly attacking it, you might understand it a bit better. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean you have to ban it. I don't understand Garth Brooks' popularity. I'm not going to protest his shows. It really is about that same concept. How's this? Look at it this way. Is Islam your religion? If the answer is no, then you don't have to understand it. But if you want to, go there. Learn. This whole peace thing has to start somewhere. Why not start it with you? Continuing in the vein of stories that do not make sense, how about Virginia, where they're set to pass a law that allows business owners to legally ban people from their establishments based purely on their sexuality. Wow. The concept is that it would violate the religious or moral convictions of a business owner to have a homosexual person in their establishment. So, you know what? You can just kick them right out. Really? Why? Let me add something else to that. How? How are you going to know that someone who just walked into your establishment is homosexual? Now, I mean, yeah, sometimes you can go, the guy in the blouse with the big jewelry might not be entirely heterosexual. Maybe, though. Could be an actor, just playing a role. How do you know? So, apparently Virginia is set to pass a purely biased, prejudicial, and inflammatory law. This, of course, being the same state where a Virginia lawmaker, a politician wearing an ankle monitor, was reelected from behind bars. Why is he behind bars? Because he was having sex with his 17-year-old secretary. But at least, the 17-year-old secretary was apparently of a different gender, so that's okay in Virginia. My wife pointed this one out to me. Apparently, there was a robbery at a restaurant in Houston. Yeah, we're back in Texas again. Just after 8 p.m. on Saturday, 2 armed gunmen ran into a seafood restaurant, forced the owners on the floor, and they hit the cash register, taking the cash out, when a customer stood up, took out his concealed weapon, shot one of the robbers, and chased the other one out of the store. Now, you know what? That is actually kind of a good thing. Although, the article that was written about the story had a bit of a different take on it. And by different, I mean a little bit psychotic. It praised the concealed weapon laws in Texas. You know what? That's fine. You want to have concealed weapon laws, that's fine. But the way this article was written was, well, here's a quote. "We Texans will never have to worry about what would have happened thanks to our concealed carry law that allows one brave armed customer to save the day." You get 'em, Lone Ranger. No, it's not promoting violence among other people. No. What would have happened? Yeah, they might have gotten away with some money. Instead, we're inspiring vigilantism. Vigilantism. What the hell is that word anyway? Speaking of strange laws, it's time for our weekly Weird Law of the Week. This time, Arizona. In Arizona, donkeys are not legally allowed to sleep in bathtubs. Honestly, I'm not sure what to make of this. How the hell did a law like this even come about? Or are they somehow referring to Democrats? Anyway, if you can come up with a good reason for this, drop me a note, either on Facebook, facebook.com/FWOT1. You can find me on Twitter @RealRobSteele, or you can find both of those links and several others on the website FWOTpodcast.com. And now I'm going to leave you with this. Tomorrow is January 17th, which is a day I dubbed a few years ago Run Over a Dumb Old Bastard Day. Short form of the story. Trying to go to somewhere simple like Walmart. And yet, there was an old guy. Perfectly sane old guy. Well, looked sane, except for the fact that he would not get out from in front of my car. Could not get a parking space. He walked down the aisle with me in front of my car. Honking wouldn't do it. Revving my engine wouldn't do it. Of course, it's a minivan, so that's not really scary anyway. But, seriously. So I dubbed January 17th Run Over a Dumb Old Bastard Day. Because I think every so often, stupid pedestrians, fair game. They'd pass that in Texas, wouldn't they? Have a good weekend, everybody. I'll see you on Monday.